So I'll be very brief. Number one, the trends carried out by juveniles, especially in our area. There's no crime that is off limit for juveniles. There used to be immutable truths and people kind of stayed in their lane. That's not what we see anymore with the criminology. What we see is everything from homicides to compelling prostitution to aggravated robbery. If I look at the stats of most of our aggravated robberies, carjackings, and juggings, most of those are juveniles between 14 to 17, and then we go into the early 20s. So there's really no crime that is off limits for our children in our communities. The most prevalent cause from this side of what I see, the most prevalent cause of juvenile crime or the increase in juvenile crime over the last few years, I believe is a rise in pluralism and the erosion of social norms. There was a time where shame and guilt entered into a picture. When we foster a culture of pluralism in our society where, excuse me, everybody can coexist and there's no such thing as immutable truth, this is the fallout. There's no consequence for actions. We can tell people that they can believe they are whatever they want to be, and they can manifest that. They're manifesting themselves as being criminals, and that's the direct result of what broken community fosters. Short-term, long-term solutions, we can debate over this all day, and it's a very layered issue. One thing I can say, as far as it says solutions for the church, I think having a decent pulse on your specific community. We talk about community as a whole, but when we focus that down to districts or beats or to your zip code, whatever concentric circle of influence your church has, I think having a decent pulse and not being blind to what your children are, what your missional communities can touch is going to be apropos to you really affecting change in your zip code and your address. The crimes out at Southwest are different than the crimes out at Southeast, or different than the crimes out in unincorporated Harris County. And community and culture changes too. Those are viable things that we have to address and we have to be ahead of. So I think when we look at it overall, with the absence of many gospel-centered churches, you find a lot of prosperity foolishness, and this is also the result. So directly, having gospel-centered missional communities in our areas that can bridge the gap between the communities and the police department are great assets and are great launch pads for the community.